Hello and welcome back, everyone. This video is part 2 of a 4-part series introducing the Remodeled Getty Provenance Index, now in the Arches platform. For an introduction to data models, please go back and watch part 1 of this series. To stay in the loop, please subscribe to the Getty Research Institute's YouTube channel. We will be posting more training videos there in the coming weeks. In this video, we are going to explore the new interface, which is hosted on a platform called Arches. The GPI's new software is called Arches. Arches is an open-source data management platform that's constantly under community-driven development. This means that the current version that we are looking at today will be updated with new features that are necessary for all of us. And as you will hear later in this video, we will have more functionalities coming soon. Additionally, the presentation of search results in a more consolidated format is important for the research community as well as for our own work. Alternative ways to extract data and present it in a more user-friendly way is part of the GPI's roadmap. Currently, SPARQL, which is the querying language for the new data structure, is a very powerful tool that produces table views of the data in a more consolidated manner that is even more customizable and flexible than our legacy presentation of search results. We are actively working on making these queries accessible, useful, and presented in an intuitive, user-friendly way in order to lay the groundwork to bring this functionality into the remodeled GPI interface. There will be some new developments on this front, and once we have made progress, we will be reaching out to our users for testing. So let's return to the end of part 1, in which we learned about how a linked open data model atomizes the data. Like we said at the end of that video, we have to shift our research strategies to ask some questions in order to start searching. Firstly, we ask, what is it that I am looking for? And what information do I have to start investigating my question? And then, of course, how do these two things connect in order to search each other? Let's take a look. We start, of course, at the beginning with the remodeled homepage. Let's take a look at some of the homepage features. Here at the top, we have some options. Here you will find our user guide, and then a FAQ page. This is a form to submit feedback on errors, bugs, or anything else you might find in the data. Next, we have a link to the legacy database. Down here in the center of the page, you'll find the main search bar, which you can use to enter the search interface. You can type any term here in the search box. You can use the facet drop-down menu to facet by model type. However, if you just want to enter the search interface without executing a search to begin with, simply click on the black search button to enter directly. Okay, so now that we've made it in, let's look at the search interface options. This is the main search page. Let's start at the top from left to right. Here you will find the Home button. This will take you back out to the main home page where we just came from. And right beside that you will find the search bar. This is where you can make simple keyword searches by clicking to enter. We will go over simple searches in more detail in the next video. On the right side of the page, you will find a search bar, which is not for searching the database. This is for navigating the advanced search facets. You will see that we have all of our models listed in advanced search. You can click the arrow beside each one to see the field options available for advanced search, and we will also return to this feature in more detail in the next video. Now here in the upper right corner you will find a menu of buttons. The bell button is for notifications. This will only be triggered by large exports, so it can largely be ignored. It will not be used for any other kind of notification. The question mark is for the help page. Here you can see we have many links to a variety of support materials and documentation for your reference. Some pages are about the contents and others are documentation for Arches, the platform. Next you will see this button with a circle and arrow. This is a login feature which is only for Getty Provenance Index staff to sign in for editorial purposes. On this second row of buttons, you'll find this bookmark symbol. This is for saved searches. This opens a menu of pre-filled advanced search queries that you can use and adapt for your own queries in the database. We highly recommend starting here to familiarize yourself with the search fields. Next, we have the Calendar button. This opens the Time Filter feature. This is an excellent way to browse data based on any date. Any field with date and time span information is captured and searchable via the time wheel. And as you can see here, we have over 6 million date values across our database. You can browse by clicking through the wheel itself. The center wheel contains all of our data. The middle section parcels out the data by century and the outer circle by decade. You can also use these from-to search boxes to filter the database down to a particular time range. For example, if you are interested in Nazi-era art market data, we can ask the time filter to look for data with dates between 1933 and 1945. And now, as you can see on the left-hand side of the page, my results have been narrowed down by the time filter, which is now also appearing in the search box. Lastly, we have the Export button. This will open a menu for you to download your search results as CSV, which is essentially a spreadsheet that can be read with Excel. This is a way to capture search results or any other data outside of the GPI and locally to your own machine. Both search results and individual resource reports are exportable via the interface. When exporting, we recommend that you give your file a descriptive name and that you add your email address, as larger downloads will take some time. You will receive a notification when your download is ready for retrieval. Now let's take a look at how to access resource reports, or what you might think of as records. Here we have a simple search looking for a British sale catalogue with a GPI catalog number of BR-376. The search results are listed here below the search bar in cards that have the name of each resource. On the bottom left of each card, you will find a Details option, which opens up this sales catalog resource report in the center of the page. This way, you can see the contents of a resource without having to navigate away from this interface. Whenever they are available, links to the digital images for textual works can be found in the Digital Reference field. These are at the bottom of textual work resources. The Digital Reference field is also linked at the top of the page for convenience. Also at the top of the page, on the right side, we have export options for downloading individual resources as CSV, JSON, or JSON LD. Finally, if you would rather open this report in a larger view, simply click the card to open it in a new tab. Now we're going to look at an individual report, focusing on the Data tab. Let's say I'm looking for a painting with an object stock number of A2518 given to it by the dealer Knoedler & Company. And here I can see that just searching for the stock number alone has narrowed my dataset to 407 results, and this painting of Bachelor's Friends is what I'm looking for. However, before we navigate away, I want to point out that every search can be replicated using its URL. So for example, when I copy and paste this search URL into a new window, I can recreate this search and its search results exactly. If you have a search that you return to frequently, we recommend copying and saving your search URL. So back to our painting. When I click through, it opens a report in a new tab. And to start, I'm going to look at the URL, and I'm going to pay attention specifically to the string at the end of the URL. This is the UUID, which stands for Universally Unique Identifier. Everything in the Remodeled database has a UUID. You can use UUIDs for extremely precise and targeted searches by searching on a UUID in the search bar. This will always return one result. This is the quickest and easiest way to find anything in the database. Now, getting back to our report page, we have some tombstone information here at the top. You can see that we are in the Data tab for this painting's report, which contains information about the painting. We will take a look at related resources in a moment, but for now, let's stay focused on the Data tab. Next, we have jump links to each section on the page. These links will take you right to that place in the report. And we can see that each section is organized into tables, which can be sorted by any column by clicking on the column's name. The contents of each table can also be searched using its search bar. If there is no data in a table, you will see this No Data Found message. If a row in a table contains more information, you can find it by expanding the arrows beside each row. And this is important to remember if the information you initially searched on is nested inside. Sometimes we will have information stored on a lower level in a row but not on the upper level, and that's when you see something like this, which looks like an empty row with an option to expand it. We know it has information in it because it does not have the No Data Found message, and we can see the arrow at the beginning of the row. So now as I'm scrolling down and looking at other data points, I'm finding where my search term A2518 hit in order to find me this result. And finally, at the bottom of the page, you will find source references for this painting. Each section has minimize, maximize, and jump to the top buttons for ease of navigation. The Data tab is useful for finding information in the GPI about something, like this painting. The next question is, how does this painting connect to other events, groups, people, or anything else in the GPI? To discover that, we need to look at the Related Resources tab. So, back with Still Life, The Bachelor's Friends, we see that the Data tab has information like its creator, the artist William Michael Harnett, its type, a painting, other titles given to this painting, its dimensions, and so on and so forth. But now I'm interested in seeing the connections this painting has with other things in the database, so I'm going to tab over to the Related Resources. Here I can see provenance activities where this painting was bought and sold. I see a geographic relationship. I see that these people and these groups are all associated with this painting. And I can see all of the places in the Knoedler dealer stock books where this painting appeared. So let's hop over to look at a provenance activity for this painting to see what we can find. In Provenance Activity Resources, I know I'm going to find information about the ownership of this painting. Here I can see that M. Knoedler & Company sold this painting to the Macbeth Gallery. And just below that, I can see that the Macbeth Gallery paid Knoedler for the sale, $1,275. Now, just for good measure, I'm going to hop back over to Related Resources to show that this provenance activity links back to the painting we started from. Here it is, Still Life, The Bachelor's Friends. This way of linking back and forth means there's always more than one way to find what you're looking for in the Remodeled Provenance Index. We will dive into searching in part 3 of this video series. However, before I end, I would like to share with you some exciting new features on the horizon for the Getty Provenance Index. To start, more safe searches. We will explore the safe search feature in detail in the next video, but we want to put out the call to all of our users. What kinds of searches do you need? What are the searches you want to have handy in our Save Search menu? We populate that with feedback directly from our users, so please let us know what you would like to see. Next, we are developing a map feature to plot all of the location information we have in our data on an interactive map. And then, of course, we will have archival inventories joining sales catalogs and stock books in the remodeled platform. We are eager to see what connections can be made explicitly between these data sets. Then we are exploring more user-friendly ways to query the data via the SPARQL endpoint, which is the querying language for semantic data. We hope this will facilitate more powerful and complex queries. And we have new data coming. We have auction data from American sales catalogs to add to the Remodeled Index in the future. And finally, we are continuously working with developers to update and improve the Remodeled Index's interface to make it more intuitive and user-friendly. All of the improvements we make are driven by user feedback. We sincerely want to hear all of your suggestions and comments about how we can make the Provenance Index work better for you. Please keep practicing with the remodeled GPI, and again, we welcome your continued feedback on the platform. If you run into any problems, want to make a correction within the data, or have any questions regarding the Provenance Index, please reach out to us via the feedback form, which is on the GPI's homepage. You can also use this form to request other topics for future videos that can get more specific and really dig into a particular topic. Don't forget to subscribe to the Getty Research Institute's channel, and make sure to keep an eye out for more training videos on other topics and features of the Remodeled Getty Provenance Index. Thank you again for your interest, and we'll see you in the next video.